I able to request a certain manufacturer of Adderall?
No, ma'am. Because those Adderall, Vyvanse, any of those, all of those medications, we get them as they have them at the manufacturer.
You guys, seriously? You guys.
So I worked for CVS for 8 years, about 3 of which as a pharmacist. That was about a 2-minute discussion between a patient needing a specific brand of Adderall and a pharmacy technician. It's going viral, so I have a lot of people asking me questions. Long story short, pharmacists can put in an order for specific brands or manufacturers. The pharmacy technician told her basically, no, we can't do that, and we get what we get, like from the wholesaler. We don't order from Teva, the manufacturer, directly. We use Cardinal. Cardinal's an outside vendor. So you have the manufacturer, the outside vendor, and the pharmacy. Outside vendor, wholesaler, same thing. So why did the technician tell her that they couldn't do that? I can think of a few reasons. So first reason is pharmacists generally don't like to order specific brands of C2s. This is kind of, in my opinion, an outdated thing with all the back orders, but this is a taught red flag, something taught to pharmacists to watch out for. Sometimes people order specific manufacturers and brands of C2s and controlled substances because if they're selling it, specific brands and manufacturers have higher street value. So some pharmacists don't order specific brands for patients. So the pharmacist might have told the technician, no, we don't do that. It's easier to say that we can't do that or we don't do that instead of saying, well, if you were selling it, this is why. It's a long-winded explanation. Sometimes the pharmacists don't even tell the technicians why we don't do that. Another reason is with the back orders. If you're wanting a specific brand of your Adderall and we put in an order for the Adderall, it goes into something called the inventory queue. We call it QI. And it sits there until the product comes in. So sometimes when we order specific things for patients and they come to check on it, they ask the technician and the technician says, oh, it's in QI, it should come in a couple days. Ideally, yes, it is next day, next business day, or sometimes 2 days because it takes time to unload it and check it in and complete it out. So that's where we have problems because the technicians or maybe another floater pharmacist says, yeah, it should be in a couple days. And then it doesn't come in. And then that creates a problem. Well, why did they tell me it would come in? I've seen this play out every single day. It creates an argument. It creates an altercation because things keep going on and off of back order. From a pharmacist standpoint, what we learn is that there's not a clinically relevant difference between generics. I'm not saying that there might not be one, but a majority of cases there's no difference. Another issue is if you find out another pharmacy has it in stock and your doctor sends it to that pharmacy, boom, it's going to reject and say it's too soon to fill. At CVS, when you put in an order for a medication, it submits a claim to the insurance. The pharmacy that's trying to fill it that has the drug in stock cannot reverse that claim, meaning they or the patient needs to call the original pharmacy and have them reverse the claim. Also mention that sometimes claims get stuck. This takes a lot of time when you need to call insurance, stay on hold forever, give them NPI, all that information to reverse a claim. A couple other things. This is a conversation you need to be having with the pharmacist. They're the ones that fill and manage the C2s. Also, it's not an issue to be resolved in the drive-thru. You gotta go to consultation or even drop off. I'll also mention it's against policy as a patient when you're filling your prescriptions at CVS to record pharmacy staff. That's another issue that I'd like to mention. I think that it's inappropriate. I'll also mention at the very end of the video, that was very hostile. I understand that it's frustrating to have issues with your pharmacy, your healthcare providers. That being said, I don't think that it's healthy or appropriate to perpetuate this hostility. I think other people will see this video and think that it's a free-for-all. It's appropriate to talk to pharmacy staff like this. They'll think that it's appropriate to say things about pharmacy staff and healthcare providers. And again, it perpetuates this energy and this vibe that pharmacy staff are like worthless and they're all liars. And in fact, what I think happened in this situation was the pharmacist likely told the technician, no, we don't order specific brands. And they might have told the staff member, yeah, it's just we can't. I always like to give like truthful explanations to both like my staff members and patients on like why we don't do things, even though it does take time to explain and it may lead to an argument. But by explaining things and telling the truth, I think that builds trust. Some people don't operate like that, but those are just my thoughts on this video.